Hello, this is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Paper Pink Wonder Daffodil. And before we get started, please like this video below and subscribe to my channel. You could also find all the supplies listed below the video, along with the template to cut this with the Cricut, Silhouette, or other cutting machines. And I also have a print version for those that don't have a cutting machine. You could hand cut these yourselves. First, I like to have 2 petals and 2 center patterns cut on white cardstock paper, and this will be per flower you make. And I add watercolor on the center pattern only. I use 2 watercolor travel brushes that I'll be linking below. One brush will be just to add some water first on one side of the center, and then I go back and use another watercolor brush to add this orange-pink watercolor from this palette. I lightly stroke only on the edges, and the water from the first brush will help create this gradient look to the edges. Do this to all the sides. I also like to control the amount of pigment I put to just test it out on the side of the paper before you add it onto your edges to make sure it's just the right amount of paint. Then only on this first piece, I will be adding a little bit of yellow paint on the center. Do it the same way where you add some water in the center with a clean brush and then add your yellow stroke lightly onto the petals. Then we are going to do the same to the second center pattern, but this pattern does not need the yellow center. It will just need the soft orange pink on the edges. When you are done with the 2 center patterns, you will need to set it aside for a few minutes to dry. And while we wait for that to dry, I have yellow tissue paper, and we need a strip of yellow tissue paper that's about the width of your thumb. And gently twist the tissue paper so that it turns into a rope-like piece. And we need a total of 3 pieces. That's about the height of your index finger. I had to make one more because I only had 2 from the first strip of yellow tissue paper. You need a total of 3, and then fold all 3 of them in half and add hot glue onto a floral wire stem. And this one I'm just using an older one that I had, but I linked one below that comes already in green. And the color really doesn't matter, so it can be any floral wire stem you have. And then add glue and add the 3 yellow tissue paper pieces that are folded in half. Once you have the 3 tissue paper pieces, I also add a little bit of white glue on the top loose ends to let it stay together. Next, go back to the pieces you watercolored. It should be dried by now. And then start with your plain petals that had no watercolor and shape this with this shaping tool and mat. It will also be linked below the video, and use the smaller ball tool and press along the edges of all the petals. There will be a total of 2 petal patterns, and do the same to the other piece. Next, add glue on one of the tabs and take the other side to cone up so the 3 petals, they prop up, and it should also be spaced somewhat evenly between the 3 petals within the piece. Then poke a hole in the center and do the same to the other petal pattern as well. Then take the 2 center patterns and with the stack, shape each side by curling it in and curling it out, but making sure this tool is going towards the center. It's similar to a fan fold, and we are trying to create this ruffled look at the end. The center of the Pink Wonder Daffodil has this ruffled and fluffy look, so that is what we are trying to mimic here. Once you have them shaped, poke holes in the center. Next, add the center pattern that had the yellow watercolor painted in the center and add it right next to that yellow tissue paper that was glued onto the stem. And add glue on the petal that's closest to the center to attach the petals. onto the bottom of the tissue paper center. Do this to all 3 sides of that center pattern that we have. And next we will be going onto the white petals and add hot glue right before and add the petals and make the petals and that centerpiece right before go the same direction. Then add another centerpiece and make this center crisscross in between the previous petal and center and add hot glue. Then add the last second petal pattern, and this will also go the same direction as that second center pattern. So the center and the petals should go the same direction, but that first layer set and the second layer set should crisscross. Then take 2 leaves that were cut on green cardstock paper, and then I add some shape by curling the tips out. Then add floral tape, and towards the bottom of the flower, about the height of that leaf, add the leaves there and finish floral taping the rest of the stem. I also have a traditional paper daffodil tutorial and template that I'll be linking for you below the video, and I think they would pair really well together with these Pink Wonder daffodil in an arrangement, mixing and matching them. So please like this video below and subscribe. Thank you for watching.